Hello, good morning children. This is MD Ramzan Bhai. Today I am going to teach 10th class English Unit 6 C reading. From C reading you are going to learn the lesson. Children, all of you get ready with your textbooks. I think you are ready. So that is C lesson from the Unit 6. Unit 6 already it is titled named as what do you call it, related to environment, and that environment, how it is going to pollute, how we are going to collapse and destroy the trees and plants, forest areas. Regarding this, we came to learn that unit is titled as biodiversity. So children, let me discuss and let us know what is C reading. I think you are ready now. In C reading, what is given there? A tale of three villages. A tale means a story, a small story of three villages. In C reading, about the three villages given to you, how the environment is in danger, and what to do for this, and how it is going to polluted, what are the dangerous things are going to happen. So a tale of three villages. From them, first village we are going to take Cocoa village in Nigeria. From Nigeria country, Cocoa village is there, and how it was damaged, environment was completely damaged, how it was polluted, we are going to know. So these three villages lessons, experienced lessons, these are we the people, we have to protect the environment. Regarding this lesson is given to you children. So let me read it out. All of you see that easily you can understand what about it is given to you. Are you ready? I am going to start now. Cocoa village in Nigeria. See that Mr. Sunday Nana is the name of the person. Mr. Sunday Nana, his wife and four small children live in Cocoa village, Nigeria. And the village is like any other African village, picturesque and colorful and noisy also. That village as other villages in the country. The Nana family's house too is the same as all the other houses in the village, with mud walls and what is that, a rusting corrugated iron roof, and with the children and the chickens sharing the compound wall. That is a compound. In villages we see this atmosphere. So this is one of the villages in Nigeria. That is the Cocoa village. Nana is the name of that person here. Second paragraph, you see that there is one difference we find here. However, outside Mr. Nana's front are three large empty metal drums. The bright red paint now flaking away, but the skull and cross bones symbol clearly visible on each. And in a clearing 200 meter away from the village, next to a stream that the villagers get their drinking water from, is an enormous pyramid of identical drums. Reaching to the sky, some of them are badly, corroded, and their slimy contents of various colors, grey, dark green, bright orange, etc. colors are there, leaking out down onto the baked African earth and into the stream. Some have fallen down and are being rolled by playful children into the bush. Some are smoking in the midday heat, and some are swelling as if their contents are bursting to get out. Some have already burst. These are different situations given here. Some village houses, some places, areas that are given to you, and that grey, dark green, bright orange colors of drums are there, and they are going to leak out. Something is leaking out from the drums. Children are going to play there, and that children, you see that they are going into the bushes to play, and smoking is coming there. That midday heat, due to the midday heat, that smoke is coming from that drums. This is the situation given to you about that village, one village. Let me come next paragraph. They came on a Wednesday, said Sunday Nana. He is telling what happened. Many big lorries, they took all day unloading them. No one told us what was in them, and they gave the chief a brown paper bag. I saw him smiling at the lorries drove away. They came and gave something to that chief person in the village. This was 5 years ago. Then 3 months ago, one of the brightest boys in the village, one clever boy from the village, that is Thomas Agonio, started a university in Lagos. Let me see, was a university student. He came home one weekend with a new chemistry book. Then, and spent all day looking at the drums and writing things down and walking to himself and shaking his head. We all thought he had gone mad. Then he called a meeting for the village and told us that the drums, contained poisonous chemicals. He said that they had come from Italy, that the drums had come from Italy. But I don't know where that is. Is it in Europe? That why university student asked the villagers. So this is the situation of that village. One chemistry student, he came to the village from the university and happened to see these drums, and he was going to do something research, and he was noting down whatever written on the drums, and later he arranged a meeting in the village. He discussed it with the village people. Then Mr. Sunday Nona stopped, frowning, a troubled look on his face. In the last 5 years, 13 people have died in this village. My own elder brother, one of them. They have been in pain, terrible pain. We have never seen deaths like that before. Lots of our children are sick. We have asked the government to take the drums away, but they do nothing. We have written to Italy, but they do nothing. The chief says we should move our houses to another place. But we have no money to buy land. We have no choice. We have to stay here. And he is showing their pointing out, and they pointing to the mountain of death in the clearing are our neighbors. Mountains are our neighbors. He showed that mountains, and he told, if they vacate the village, where to live and where is a safe place for them. This is a situation of some villages where that environment is entirely, it is going to be destroyed and polluted by some people, chemical forest, chemical industries, firms that are called. They are going to pollute the land and the environment, forest and nature also. This is one example of the village, children. And let me come to another village, that is Ponimanturi village in India. In India, one village is what happened in that village. Let us see that second one given to you, Ponimanturi village in India. You open the book here. Let me read it out here. Just by reading, I think you can understand that. You see that. I can remember the time. She said wistfully, when all the fields around this village were green and the harvest is good. Her outstretched arm described a complete circle as she stood in the morning sun. Then they built those monsters. Those monsters means a huge. And her voice spluttered in anger as she shook her fist at a collection of continuous looking black buildings on the horizon, covered in a low-lying shroud of thick smoke. They said that factories need leather to make shoes and handbags and clothes. They said our men folk would get jobs. They said we would all become rich. So many things they told. And what happened in the village? Let us see that here. That the company people, factory people, they said like this here. They would get that villagers would get the jobs. Villagers would be given something there. So many choices they were offered, but what happened? We stood silent, each thinking our own thoughts. Yes, they told you all that, but there is so much they did not tell you. They didn't tell you that to change animal skins into leather, which they call tanning. That is called tanning. What is that tanning here? That changing the animal skins into leather. That process is called the tanning. Uses as many as 250 different chemicals and including heavy metals also given to you. Including heavy metals such as cadmium, arsenic and chromium. They did not tell you that these chemicals are discharged into the environment from those chimney stacks and fall to earth for miles around, polluting the earth below. And they didn't tell you that this would poison your fields so that nothing will grow. So these are other side of the coin. They didn't tell these things. Due to this factory, some danger would happen. But that is why, due to these factories, the children they are becoming sick. They didn't tell us that the chemicals would be dumped in open fields and into our rivers. So I had Vijay Sam, and we had been thinking the same thoughts. They didn't tell us that our women would have how to walk the 10 kilometers every day. They didn't tell us that we would get ulcer and sores on our bodies. They didn't tell us. And her voice trailed off. There is so much they didn't tell you, I thought. and we don't buy leather shoes or leather handbags or leather clothes, she said. This is the bad thing about that village. Okay, children. And now you see that about C, third one is given to you in short. Vorobyo village, Ukraine. This is also a village which is suffered a lot by these people and by the factories. How the chemicals are going to pollute the area and place. Let me read out. It's a C lesson that is in C lesson only 1 to 3 villages given. Third village, Vorobyo village, Ukraine. Right, you see that. It happened on April the 26th, 1986. I remember the date because it was my mother's birthday. We heard the explosion early in the morning. We didn't worry because there had been explosion before from Chernobyl, and but this one was bigger. Everyone stopped what they were doing and listened. Then we ran out into the garden. We would see a cloud of white smoke coming from the nuclear reactor, and Natasha Revenko wiped her hands nervously on her apron. Tears came to the corners of her eyes and slid slowly down her pinched pale cheeks. This is about village. You see that how dangerous it is. It was a Saturday, she went on, still wiping her hands on her apron. It was a lovely warm day, and the children played outside all weekend. Even when the dust began to fall, they still played outside. They picked up a handful of it and threw it at each other, laughing. And it was Wednesday before the loudspeaker van came to the village, telling us to keep our children indoors and not to touch the radioactive dust. Then they also told us to wash down our houses and roads with water. A week later, the children began to vomit. Their hair fell out. They couldn't eat. They grew so thin, and sores appeared all over their little bodies. 2 weeks after that, all three died. All three on the same day. She broke down now and cried quietly as she had done so many times before. They are buried over there. She pointed to the church graveyard. She pointed the church graveyard. Lots of village children are, and adults, she showed it. Last paragraph, you see that? I touched her gently on the shoulder, leaving her to her bitter, sweet memories, and walked on through the silence. It was a ghost town. No one lived there anymore, and they had either died or been forcibly evacuated. The fields were barren. Nothing grew. Nothing ever would again. There was no bird song, no rabbit appeared at me. Now, no cow endlessly chewed, no horse neighed. And Natasha caught me up as we boarded the bus marked Moscow. Thank you for coming with me, she said. I wanted to see the graves and the houses again before I died. That Natasha told her. This is a Chernobyl, Vorobyo village, which is completely destroyed, and that people, they became very dangerous. That is the situation of pollution. That is a biodiversity, how it is going to collapse, children. Let us see for the next class.